Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah, we got it. We got it.
New 52 book.
Somebody clip this for the woman.
Welcome to Comics League Live member stream, and oh my God, was it a week? So obviously, to remind all you fine people watching at home that if you want to join this panel, go ahead and hit that join button. We have a lot of fun on this. So we have loads of fun topics this week, but first I want to start off with a little bit of a more fun one. What comics are y'all reading? Because I know for me, I've been reading DMZ for the first time.
Nice.
Nice. It's kind of
Nice.
cool. It's kind of cool. And I've been slowly trying to make it through Tom King's Wonder Woman, which in it itself is
painful.
It's not painful. The problem with it is that there's good stuff, particularly after the travesty that was the Clunrad run. But then he does stuff that are very Tom King. And Wonder Woman, and Britt can tell me because she's in the chat, Wonder Woman is written very like emotionless.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. I'm like, what? You can't write everyone depressed, Tom. That's not how all these characters are.
As for me, I've been reading New 52 Justice League. So, continuing on that run.
Oh, yo.
Nightwing. I love the black and red suit. I love the black and red suit. Oh, Duke was really good. G.I. Joe.
I heard about that, yeah.
So good. All right. So, so Teladia and I are still working our way through a New 52 Justice League. I think after this, we're doing Batgirl, right?
Yeah, so after we've done Justice League, we're going to transition into a one-off series where we're going to be talking about just Batgirl, and I'm gonna ask my friend see if he's interested in hopping on.
Baby hands.
It's not only baby hands; it's a bigger content creator than you can imagine.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
And I think Dave summarizes it really well. Tom King just writes comics for personal therapy. True.
For real.
Tevia says he just finished the Echo show. I haven't watched it. I heard it's not that good. It's not great, but it's not it's not bad. It's also not good though, is what I've heard.
Yeah.
Did the whole thing drop?
Yeah, the whole thing dropped.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That shows how confident they are in the show's performance.
Too confident, as I put it.
And Tavia says he read Ultimate Spider-Man. So, David, I know you want to really plug Ultimate Spider-Man.
Got the A cover, got this sweet variant at the LCS. And then I also have been reading this guy, Tower Babel.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
The Birth of Bat God.
Yes. But one thing that I didn't know is like the art in this book is like really not that good, and no hate to Howard Porter and everybody involved because the writing is really, really good, but this artwork feels so off for how big of a title this was and how much people always recommend it.
And the funny part is that that's technically part of Grant Morrison's Justice League run.
Yeah, the blue Superman's there.
Wade. Yeah, I'm blue Superman. That's what made reading the first like quarter of that omnibus really tough because I don't want to look at electric blue Superman.
Yeah,
actually, the funny
really
part is it starts off the first arc as normal Superman, then all of a sudden he's electric blue for like a significant part of it. And the other problem with it is that they put in practically the entire Justice League 10,000 arc, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's just it bogs down the story because I'm like, how many of these stories are we going to read through? Just like, stop it. And then obviously with Teladia, I'm reading the New 52 Justice League by Jeff Johns and Jim Lee. All pluses on that because it's Jeff Johns and Jim Lee. So they no reason to say no for that. Yeah, I've heard Ultimate Spider-Man is good. I haven't read it yet. It's on my pull list, but that's good to hear because lately the Spider-Man titles have been, let's just say,
Bad, real bad.
much. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, they
They've
needed
been bad.
they needed a revival like in Call of Duty. Revive them.
Yeah.
I sent Britt, by the way, the panel where MJ goes, Facey, you're about to hit, I'm about to hit you a jackpot or something like that. They do like a play on that. And then Britt goes, my God.
Okay.
Like, what do you
I
do?
think this
Why does
book is-
everyone have to be a superhero?
Yes, that. I mean, who knows what they're gonna do in this like world? But everything that I read in it so far is awesome. Like it just introduced you to Peter and his family, and nothing felt forced, nothing felt out of place. I do know that when Nick reads it, he's gonna freak out because he's not gonna like how Peter gets his powers because he's like against other superheroes helping Spider-Man become Spider-Man. And I mean, I don't know how much spoilers I want to give away.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
And I can tell you some of the characters that make appearances. Green Goblin is in one page.
Obviously.
He makes a cameo. And they didn't say who he is. And they also said that, well, as far as we, the reader, knows, Norman Osborn is deceased. His son is still alive. Whatchamacallit, Daredevil's in it, but not as Daredevil, just Matt Murdock was there.
Mhm.
Kingpin's there, and Iron Man is there. Those are all the big characters that make their first appearances.
Oh, Ultimate Iron Man, sweet.
Interesting.
So yeah, I like how they're bringing out the Ultimate Universe, and I will say this about Ultimate Spider-Man: they're doing something new with having him be Spider-Man as an adult. So at least they're doing something new. So plus, here's a bonus seeing my girl Mayday. Yeah, okay, you know what? I'll let Tevi go on that because that is true. Celebrate that, brother.
He also has a son. His son is there too.
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh if the son's name is Ben, as in Ben
It's
Riley.
Richard.
Oh, come on, that's a missed opportunity. I pissed Nick off when we're recording Under Two Capes today because we were like, how are they going to do Superior Spider-Man in the games? And I said, as soon as I said Norman clones Peter, as soon as I said Otto clones Peter, Nick instantly went, nope, And are there any callbacks to the original Ultimate Universe? I can put that in there. And then technically it takes place after Ultimate Invasion, Ultimate Universe 1. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
That's what I was just about to say. It seems like it has nothing to do with the old Ultimate Universe. And this is like a whole new one.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were marketing it as, a whole new Ultimate Universe, I believe. And I'm just saying, if DC brings back the new 52 and just calls it the Ultimate 52, that's what they need right now.
This is what everybody wants. Everybody wants, like, they have this idea, or they beg, actually, for a character to be written a certain way, and they finally got it. And Marvel they're definitely going to figure out that this is what they should have been doing the whole time.
I'm telling you, if this sells, I guarantee you the Zeb Wells, all the changes of Zeb Wells, like Paul will be murdered off panel because that's more disrespectful. And then Peter will get back with MJ. They'll be like, nope, we're done. Pretend that run never happened. So let's transition to our first set of topics. So Teladia, you were under NDA for so long on this freaking Suicide Squad game, which I still think looks fun. I still think it looks good.
I was. By the way, you forgot JL. You put SSSK.
Oh, okay. While I do that, Teladia, talk.
So I was under NDA for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League from November all the way up to now. What Teladia's not saying is that there was a SWAT team outside his house at any time, and whenever I talked about the game, if I showed any footage for the game, if I showed any screen for the game, I would have had a WB at my door, basically. But they've lifted it. We can't show images, we can't show pictures, but we can discuss about our experience for the game.
So how is it?
It's a fun game, dude. I played as King Shark. Day one.
It's a shark.
I did try.
Deadshot was perched on a house, on a roof outside his house.
Yay.
There you go. They said the actual Suicide Squad.
No, but it's like I played King Shark. I tried Harley. She was the most difficult to use for me.
Really?
Yeah, her
Hmm.
traversal was really difficult because
Mm-hmm.
you have like the grapple gun and the bat bot thing,
Yeah, the
and
bat
when you
drone.
jump it, yeah, the bat drone. So when you're trying to swing and trying to jump off thing, it really took me a long. I couldn't get used to it.
But you played
So
Spider-Man. That's kind of the same thing.
it's not the same thing. The traversal is completely different.
I know I'm making a joke, but how's dead? Did you play? Did you fight any leaguers?
Yes, we did come across an encounter, a Liga, and I could say it's Batman.
Oh,
Oh,
Our first,
Kevin
our, f-
Conroy.
our first.
So you heard Conroy?
Yeah, we heard Conroy, and
Yes.
it, it's the part where we saw the. Remember the Game Awards when
It's that part. It's that part.
mm,
where the Flash is captured by the Suicide Squad,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
and they go into the Arkham Infirmary or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It's that part essentially. We got to
Oh, okay, that
experience
makes
that,
sense.
and you encounter Batman essentially, and he's the one who's preying on you. It's not the other way around.
Oh, so you're essentially doing those like predator rooms, except you're the prey now.
Yeah,
Oh, that is cool, actually. Wow.
and let me just say, even if you can't escape Batman regardless
Because he's Batman.
because he's Batman. Yeah, he lays down traps and everything, and it's like it was so cool. Kevin Conroy just
And
killed
if you
it.
notice, the bat costume he's wearing is just an upscaled version of the Arkham Knight suit.
Yeah.
And you know what's also interesting is I
What?
heard all the voice actors. Nolan North is voicing Superman in this game.
I could see that. And by the way,
Huh.
that means I have Nolan North, right? So Superboy is playing Superman, is what you're telling
Oh
me now.
wow.
And I'm pointing to my autograph wall white up there.
Yeah, basically from Young Justice, Superboy, Nolan North, stroke Superman.
I could see that. He does a good Superman, so that
Yeah,
works.
and I can say like all the voice acting is top point. Um, we got to experience the first mission. I think it was only the first two chapters we got to
Okay.
experience, and then they cut us off at that point. But here's the kicker, guys. If you are ahead and if your friends hasn't experienced it, you can always play with them and help them.
Let me ask you this: if you played the alpha and then you buy the full game, let's say, and the game comes out, does your progress carry over,
No,
or do you reset?
no, it's reset.
Oh, okay, okay, that
That's
makes
good.
sense.
And yes, we did see Green Lantern, but
My
I,
boy
I- it,
John.
it's a tease. It's a tease of what they do for Green Lantern, so that's why I didn't want to mention
That's
it.
cool. So, the point is, you are enjoying the game.
Yeah, the point is I'm enjoying
Sweet.
the game. The game is what everyone's expects it to be, which is the
In terms of
story
goodness.
in terms of goodness. Yes.
Hmm, that sounds fun. Do you notice a lot of the like loot box stuff elements are in the game, or is it just like you don't really notice it as you play?
The the there is no there there is cashier drops or whatever.
Well, yeah,
That's part of the game.
figured that.
That's
Hmm.
part of the game, right?
Hmm.
But obviously in the alpha we didn't get like the whole like the poison ivy bit or stuff
Or the
that
vehicles things.
or the vehicle things that were shown from the press previews and stuff like that.
Hmm. And Dave asked a question. I know you only played like 2 chapters, but are the Justice League members
Yes,
treated respectfully?
yes. The,
Okay, cool. I
because
have it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
there's two reasons why I say this. The first reason is this, like the Justice League are respected. Like I'm not a chill, right? Before anyone says, "Oh,
He's not a
WP's
shill.
hate,"
He's not a shill. Elias,
I'm not
I
a
don't
chill.
hire chills. I don't stream with shills.
I'm not a shill. I'm just saying like what I experienced and what I've
Hmm.
played. And also I also gotta say this, thanks you to Rocksteady and Warner Brothers for allowing me to even have the opportunity to play the alpha. So I'm
Sweet.
gonna put this out there for them because like a lot of people don't seem to realize is like this game is big. This game it's a huge metropolis. It's a huge. It's bigger than Gotham.
Wow.
Oh, because that was a big open world.
It's bigger than Gotham.
Coming as someone that just replayed Arkham Knight.
Yeah, it's bigger than Arkham Knight in any way, shape, or form. The whole of
Wow.
Justice looks great. Wonder Woman isn't controlled for the parts we play. She isn't controlled.
In other words,
And
you can't play as Wonder Woman.
you can't play as Wonder Woman, but she is kind of like an ally to you. Kind of not.
So Tavia brings up an interesting point. He says, I'm still worried about the Justice League getting killed in this game because for me as a fan of the Arkhamverse, I really want to play it.
Tavia,
I have a theory about that, Teladia. Can I tell you my theory? And David, you can weigh on this too. And let me know if you guys think this is real. So the enemy's Brainiac, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is we're not actually fighting and killing the Justice League. The real League is being held captive on Brainiac's ship. What we're fighting are clones.
That is a very good theory.
Yeah.
Because
Or
that way
like-
you can kill the Justice League without killing the Justice
Oh.
League. Because according to like the leaks that came out a long time, like the more recent leaks, it's like you kill Green Lantern, but the construct doesn't go away or anything like that. So they're like, wait, what?
Wait. But here's the thing too, Dave. To answer your question, Wonder Woman in the trailer, she did ask, "How do we stop this?"
Under the lasso. It's kind of like the whole
Lasso
Maxwell
Tooth.
Lord scenario. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But Tavia, to be honest with you, I wouldn't trust anything from other YouTubers. I have seen your comments in other YouTubers' channels, and you are listening to what they're saying. Don't listen to anybody else what they say. You play the game, you enjoy what you want it to be. Because if you listen to other content creators that say, "Oh, do you know what? This game is going to be bad. I want another Batman
You're
game."
just gonna be
Yeah.
and that's what it is. The people just want another single player game. It's not what a lot of these people wanted, so they're less likely to give it a shot. But honestly, I know Nick has been cautiously skeptical about the game, which right. What's up, Master Sergeant, with a $5 super
man?
chat. What's up, Teladia, David, and the David guy? I gave up on the JLA omnibus. Smurf Superman ruins it. Oh God, I'm gonna read Road to No Man's Land. You could just skip that part. It's not like it's like the entire run, but it's fair enough. Fair enough. No Man's Land's a good story, dude.
Yeah.
You do make good points. Honestly, just enjoy.
Yeah,
That's why I barely watch any like analysis of the game short of what Teladia tells me, because I don't want my opinion being affected going into this game. I want to approach it with an open mind. And recently replaying the Arkham games, particularly Asylum, City, and Night, my trust in Rocksteady is reaffirmed. So until I see anything like really egregious, I'm not going to like give up hope that the game will at least be fun. Plus, it seems to me, because according to what they've said, and we'll know more when the next Insider drops, it sounds like they actually have a plan for this live service thing.
Yeah, they've also announced that we're going to be getting episode 3 for Insider coming very, very soon.
Nice.
Good, because that's the one that's going to deal with the post launch. I think like that's going to be you guys figure out.
Yes.
When you're So essentially, so the game comes out the end of like the last day of this month, right? For us, because I'm going to pre-order the collector's edition, well, the deluxe edition that gives you it 3 days early. And what Teladia and I will do is stream it on both of our channels, so that way you can see both of our perspectives. I still think this live service stuff is a bad idea. Well, fair enough, Tavia, because as we talked about on this week's Under Two Capes episode, you have good reason to think that. But
yeah,
if what Teladia is telling me is true, and again, I trust Teladia when he said they have like practically how many seasons of content do they have ready to go?
4 seasons.
Oh, wow.
4 seasons of content, so they're prepped. They have stuff going in the pipeline. So you know what? I'm like, okay, you know what? Because live service can work if you have a plan. That's what Halo and Avengers fell into. They had no plan afterwards.
I feel like,
yeah, go ahead.
or my opinion on like live service games is all you have to do is have really fun gameplay. And this game is how many player multiplayer?
4 player.
It's 4.
Yeah. And as long as the gameplay is fun, you can make these live service games last forever.
I'm gonna add something to
Fortnite.
this as well. I'm gonna
Yeah,
add something.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go into this game expecting it to be a Batman Arkham game.
Yeah.
It's
Go
not.
into this game comparing it to maybe like Borderlands, Destiny 2, The Division. Compare it to those games.
It looks like Jet Set Radio Future to me. Like when I was watching the gameplay for some of the like movement and what was that Xbox exclusive for Xbox One? It was like one of the, yeah,
Sunset
Sunset
Overdrive.
Overdrive. That it looks like
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah, that's the good comparison too. So that's what I was gonna say, Tevia. That's what I'm saying to you, Tevia. Don't listen to what other people are saying, and focus on what you
Come
what
up with your own opinions on
Yeah,
the
and
stuff.
don't let
That's
people
ultimately what I
like
always say.
make you feel bad for like playing certain games because like
yeah
I like love playing Call of Duty and a lot of people don't really like that game, but
yeah
here we
Well,
are.
I enjoyed the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 campaign. That's just me. But it's like
you know
I enjoyed the Avengers, but so that's
Yeah,
me.
but but back to the alpha though, like the Suicide Squad Killer Justice League alpha
Yeah.
itself. So I probably played about 20 hours of the game,
Jeez. Mm-hmm.
and that's me on repeat of playing the same mission. So I went back and did the mission. I played co-op, was a bit of a struggle, but that was the most fun experience I ever had.
How much is there to do in like the open world if you just want to screw around and like shoot bad guys and do side quests?
Oh,
and
there's
stuff?
loads. You could screw around and do
Oh,
beat.
okay, cool. That was my concern too with like a big, because there are some games that when they do those big open worlds, it starts to get a little boring after a while. But
No,
I'm
no, no.
like, oh, okay, I'm glad there's so much in there.
So in the middle of the story or something, because the first two chapters, there is Brainiac robots and Brainiac tanks and Brainiac helicopters around. You can shoot those, right?
Mhm.
At any point,
Mhm.
at any point of the game. So you don't need to worry about that. And yes, Riddler does make his experimental return to the game,
oh,
and
He actually is voiced and everything like that. It's not
he's
like
voiced.
they. Okay, good. I was concerned because there were those other leaks months ago that said, "Oh no, he actually died."
No, he comes in the game and he expects the squad to do all of his missions,
Oh,
like
screw that. I'm not doing that.
all of
I'm
his
not.
riddles, and there's like rings or whatever, like if races and stuff like that,
Mhm.
checkpoints.
So Dave says, are the weapons character specific now, or can all characters still use guns? This is probably my biggest issue with the previous from last year.
Okay, so in terms of the weapons, so certain characters will have SMG,
oh,
a
sick.
shotgun, or a normal gun, right? The tank, King Shark is a tank character, so he'll have the big, the big machine gun and the AR.
Mhm.
And if you're looking for a sniper, Deadshot's your guy, right?
I perpetually call Deadshot. And I will be
Deadshot,
pre-ordering the Justice League skins so that I can
same, I've
say my
already done it.
Batman uses guns.
I've already done it. As soon as I played the alpha, I was like,
Superman uses guns in your case too, Teladia, because Superman is also a shark and he uses a minigun. So there you go.
Dang, that's
but
crazy.
the combat mechanics is so much fun. The com
Yeah.
the countermeasure, that's really cool. And I will say, what else can I really say that will get you guys interesting?
Does
Oh, Amanda Waller,
oh hey.
Yeah.
she's very interesting on how she interacts with the squad. And Rick Flag is also in the game too. I can say that.
I saw in the last Insider. That's cool. I think. Dave, you had a question?
Does it feel like if you replay the game with like different compositions of team members, like do you think you would get a different experience?
Yeah, you could play a different character. You could play as different um characters, and you wouldn't get the same. You wouldn't get the same feeling for one character. You'd be a different experience for another character. For example, if you let's say if I play Harley Quinn and you play King Shark, you be playing King Shark and I'll be playing Harley Quinn, but we'll be playing at a different experience level, if you know what I mean, gameplay wise.
How
So
many
in other
playable
words, the characters.
characters
Yeah.
are there?
Yeah. How many are there?
Sorry, I didn't catch
How many
that.
playable characters are there?
4.
Okay.
King Shark,
Now,
Captain
Yeah.
Boomerang. Now there's King Shark, Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, and Deadshot. Those are the
because the
4
rumor
characters.
is Slade's gonna show up.
And I can say this right now: the game is worth picking up. It is worth picking up because, like, without obviously breaking NDAs and stuff like that, or breaking the rules for what I've been told, I can safely say that this game will get fans back on side, right?
Nice.
Because the story is it's so enriched, and they're doing something from Tavia's favorite era of DC, which
Oh
is
no, then I'm gonna hate this game because it's Rebirth. Then, oh no,
you know which one I'm talking about, Jared.
what
You
happens to
already-
Lois Lane in this game? If she gets taken out, I can be a
Oh,
little happy.
oh, Lois Lane is in the game. That's another thing I want to say. Lois Lane is in the game, and she's not on screen. So at the
It'll be
beginning,
hilarious is that if we ever do encounter Lois in the free roam, they'll be like, Jared, where are you? I'm like, I'm doing something. They show up at the Daily Planet, and I'm like shooting Lois.
no. So Lois, she's nowhere in Metropolis. You won't be able to find Lois.
Dang
She's
it!
so you won't be able to find her. But she is in the game. I do know that for a fact.
Yep.
Uh,
So Tevia says she's reporting the news.
Yeah, but in terms of like what else I want to add to the alpha, it's like this experience. It just shows that if you give a studio a chance with doing something different, they know then you're in for a good time
Yeah.
because I know friends that got flown out to the Warner Brothers lot, and they got to preview the game and such, and more than what the alpha was, right? But I can say from my experience playing the alpha, it's fun, and when you get to play the full game, it's going to be twice as fun because I think in one of the creators preview or something, they said you could play the same character in the
Oh,
game.
so you're telling me we could have a full squad of dead shots?
Potentially, yeah.
Oh hell yeah, that's
that's pretty sick.
awesome. We should
Like
all go
4
as
King
King
Sharks.
Shark and just tank people. And all of our dialogue is King Shark is a shark.
No, but here's the thing. When you go into cutscenes, it'll give you a different character.
So essentially, in the
Oh.
cutscenes, it'll still be the 4 squad mates. You won't have like 4 King Sharks.
You won't have 4 King Sharks, you'll have something else.
That would be kind of funny if they had like 4 King Sharks and one's like sneezing from Ivy's pollen. That would
And
be great.
Tevia, to be honest with you, it's all the stuff that happened behind the scenes for Rocksteady. That's mainly might be the reason why. But
let me ask you this,
regardless,
Teladia.
go on.
Compared to your opinion on this game before you played the alpha, are you more
Yeah.
confident now?
I'm more confident now than I was when we first got the announcement for the game, because I was very skeptical for the game. I was very like, do I really want another Avengers 2.0
Yeah.
on our hands?
But then it's Rocksteady.
But then again, it's Rocksteady, and then it was like we're gonna playing a Suicide Squad. I honestly thought it was going to be a DOA game, a Dead on Arrival game,
Mhm.
which is
think a lot of people
Particularly
thought that.
because we covered it when like the UI leaked and you could see like live service and season pass and everything like that. And even we were like,
yeah.
Well,
But
this game's already supposed to come out too. That's another thing that makes
Mhm.
people
It's
even more
literally-
skeptical about it.
it's literally coming out in less than 20 days, right? So
Yeah.
everyone get hyped for it, because the way I see it is myself and Jared will be streaming 2 to 3 times a week just to play
Yep.
the story campaign.
because
Oh.
the way I'm making a special rule when I'm not streaming with Teladia, I'm not gonna play the game. Or maybe I won't like advance the story, but I'll screw around the open world. The point is, I when we advance the story, it's going to be completely cold for both of us. hopefully for both of us. At least on my side, I'm not going to play the story until I can hang out with you and do it.
Yeah, this is why, like I say, 2 to 3 times a week we could do a
Yeah, so we can
stream.
actually complete it. In other words.
Yeah, if we do 2 to 3 streams, because that's the plan, guys. Is myself and Jared are gonna plan to do 2 to 3 times a week just to cover the story campaign, because I think there's 25 plus hours,
Oh,
maybe
nice.
maybe
just to
40
cover
hours.
the base campaign. After that, it's all going on.
It's just
And then maybe we'll do like if Teladia, let me ask you this: Do you know if they're going to implement this mission replay?
no, I don't know. I don't know about. Well, actually, yes, I do, because I was able to go back and mission replay stuff.
And
the old
replay.
mission.
Okay, so good. This is why I asked the question, because as soon as Teladia and I play the game ourselves, what we may do is we may do a thing where like the members show up and we all play through the story mode again together. We
Members.
just screw around in Metropolis.
And
I was
this is
gonna ask,
why.
is it
Hmm?
cross-platform?
Yes, it's cross-platform, cross.
Yes!
Yeah, that's like honestly with
That's a
any
big
live
thing
service game,
now.
it has to be like that.
And David, I know you're a member of my channel,
Yeah,
so because you're a member of my channel, are you the highest tier? Just out of curiosity.
I don't remember.
If you are the highest tier of my channel, you get to game with me and Jared.
Oh, yo.
Well, you can game with me because you're the highest tier here, so it's
Yeah.
all good. It's
Yeah.
either way you're gaming with us, so there you go.
Either way, you'll be gaming with us, and we'll be playing Suicide Squad together, and it'll
We'll
be
be
at
killing the Justice League together and hunting
That's
down Lois Lane. I will glitch the game so I can get to Lois Lane.
And yeah, and I gotta say, right, when it comes down to this game, it's not what I thought it was gonna be. I was just like, wait a minute, what? Like, they showed like how the events after Arkham Knight, they showed the events of how Batman joined the Justice League.
Oh, he joined the
Oh,
Justice
that's
League after Night.
Yes,
Dang.
they showed like a
Okay, because that was
they-
my question. Because they never talked about the League. They talked about Superman and
Yeah.
Flash, but they never
no.
did.
So this is like in the museum type of thing when you encounter
Mhm.
Batman. So they show like you go around the thing, you'll be able to see the
Oh, it's
events
like
of Asylum.
all the little explain.
Whoa.
Do they explain how Batman survived Night?
I
or-
think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't played the game in months. So
Okay, so obviously we'll answer that question. So that's gonna be cool.
but
So they
it's-
explained everything about that. Okay, that's cool.
So they explain Asylum, City, Night, and then after that, him founding, joining the Justice League, Superman welcoming him into the Justice League, and he's unmasked, so to say. So you get to see him as Bruce Wayne, stroke Batman. That's the best way to
Mhm.
put it. And honestly, it's like, honestly, like I said, this game is going to turn out to be one of the greatest live service game
That'd
that
be pretty
and
sick if it did.
and that's a
that
lot
DC,
now.
that DC has ever produced.
We
Let
will
me put
certainly
that-
see. We will
because-
certainly see.
Even though it's the 12th, I think it's the 12th or 13th anniversary of DC Universe Online.
And they're
Dang.
supposed to be releasing a massive graphical update for that one.
Yeah, so that's like I've got 2 DC games gonna be.
And by the way, when that thing launches, when that graphical update launches, that's when we'll start doing Comics League game nights for DC Online.
Yeah, but that's gonna be on PlayStation and Xbox. But I don't think there's crossplay
For
because
online, no, I don't think so.
no, and you have to be it's region locked too. So
What
it's
the
like,
heck?
But I thought you and I were playing Teladia.
but I changed the region on PC.
Everyone just change the region and just and just play.
On PlayStation you can't.
Oh, okay. We'll
Dang.
figure it out. But the point is, this year we will be doing game nights together. That's
Yeah,
what we're, that's what we're
game
doing.
nights is going to be great. And before we change the topic to Crisis,
Mhm.
if any of you guys do want to ask me any questions about Suicide Squad,
Yeah,
please
go
put
ahead.
them in. Please put them in now before I would change topics.
And by the way, Dave says, this is what I would like to see. Playable villains with similar powers as the Justice League, Sinestro, Zod, Reverse Flash, Batman Who Laughs. Do you really want Batman Who Laughs after
I
what
want
DC has
Bane.
put him in everything?
Bane would
A
be the
Bane
coolest.
would be dope. Because you can make Bane the other tank character.
Yeah.
Ocean Master, Ares. That would be kind of cool. What are your sales predictions for the game? A hit, a flop, or somewhere in between?
I would have to say it'd be just under a hit.
So you
Just
think
like-
it's gonna do really? It's gonna do well. It's not gonna do like gangbusters, but it'll do really well.
It'll do
I
really
think
well
the
just because
reviews are
Mhm.
going to have to carry that game because that's
thing
what
is-
I think a lot of people are looking at right now.
the thing is, people look at IGN and they say, "Oh, well, IGN knows what they're saying." The
No,
guy,
they
IGN
do.
is
They
so
do not.
wrong all the time now.
A
They're
lot
the
of
terrible
game. Well,
takes.
part of their review was like, we had trouble fighting the Flash because we couldn't hit him. He's the Flash.
and the game is called Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
But
It means you have to move around and try and attack him.
IGN so far is the only source I have seen that said we didn't like it. The rest of them are like, okay, you know what? It's actually really fun.
Yeah,
IGN has I feel like they hate everything that's really good and they love everything that's terrible.
I mean, they give every Call of Duty a 10 out of 10 and call it like innovative. I'm like,
Yeah.
innovative, it's the same damn thing.
but I'll say like this game will probably get story-wise will probably be up there in terms of story. It'll probably get maybe 9s, 8s or 9s, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
That,
It is a
that's
Rocksteady game, so
because
that's understandable.
it's Kevin Conroy's last performance, you see, so they're going to knock it out the park because of that alone.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's just thinking about it, right? Rocksteady is not going to disappoint us with Kevin Conroy's last performance, and Tevia said that's his question of the day. Honestly, though, Tevia, like I would recommend you just pre-order the game. I got the deluxe because I want to get it.
I'll be getting deluxe because it's early.
Do you just
not
get
only
skins
because
with the deluxe?
Yeah,
yeah,
you get that too. There is no like statue edition, unfortunately, because I would have gotten that one.
there's no statue. I did ask, but Rocksteady did not know anything.
Oh my god, are you saying
I read that too.
You can't spell ignorance on IGN? Ah, nice one, Dave. Nice one, Dave.
But yeah, I just like I said, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League is going to be an amazing game. I'm getting the deluxe. Recommend you guys if you guys are going to want to play the game and you want to experience it, pick up the deluxe. Get the 72 hours early. You'll get 4 battle pass tokens. You get the
Ooh.
Justice League skins. If you get it on PlayStation, you get the Rogue skins, and you'll get
I'm
the
just a lonely
self-shaded.
Xbox gamer. I don't get that. Well, it doesn't matter because my Deadshot would be like Batman.
And mine will be like Superman. So, and I'm going to
Hopefully.
self-shade it too. I'm going to be black and white. I might do that, you know.
Mhm. You can play as King Shark in the black suit. You know, it'll be really funny. Honestly, the 2 games I adore the most are Persona 3. Okay, that's not really like relevant to this. Okay, so moving
But
on to
let's-
our next topic.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right, and Britt's gonna love this one. So, even if you guys have not seen the Crisis movie, you no doubt have seen the Twitter leaks coming out about a certain 40-second scene in Crisis, which set Twitter on fire, even though it's a 40-second scene.
Also,
So,
like, Superman
ahead.
and Wonder Woman have liked each other in a bunch of canon things.
and this is after Lois is dead from old age because she's Lois Lane.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, because the way the story goes, that's the Wonder Woman from Justice Society World War II.
Ah.
So Steve dies, and that's the Superman from that movie, the Shakespeare Superman. So what happens is he dates, he's with Lois, but obviously World War II. So she, in the modern day, she's dead from old age. So then after a proper amount of mourning, he gets with Wonder Woman. That makes sense.
Okay, wait. So this movie isn't like it's. I mean, I know it's modeled a little bit after the comic, but it's like an actual reboot to the DC AMU.
I don't know. It links to the DC AMU.
Okay.
Like it actually references the DC AMU is what I'm gonna say. I don't want to spoil exactly what happens, but stuff happens that links it to the previous continuity.
Did this movie already come out? That's the other.
Yes, it
thing
already
that I was
came out.
wondering.
It's
Okay.
out.
Yeah, it's already
It's
out.
Dave says, "Is it confirmed that Suicide Squad is going to be his last DC performance?" Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And Tavia, that's spoilers. But the point is, it does link to the previous universe, which is good. But the thing is, again, so the day that leaked out, I was texting Britt, and she and I were going over stuff for the show. And then she's like, I mean, these Twitter people are really annoying me and stuff. And I go, don't worry, Britt, we'll have our time. An hour later, Teladia texts me, hey, I just watched Crisis, and it's not Superman of Earth 2 and Wonder Woman of Earth 2 are together. And I was like, come again? And then I told Britt, and Britt's like, don't play with me, Jared. And then and then a friend sent her the screenshots of the actual kiss, and we're like, okay. And then it was kind of funny is that for the longest time, it's still going on. The only thing people are talking about with Crisis is that 40-second
is
clip.
that. That's the only thing I've seen people say.
I'm like, what? There are people calling him an actress.
Huh.
Because remember, and read that Superman story, Immortal Beloved, where he and Wonder Woman go and fight a war for like 2,000 years, and then they think everyone's dead.
And she offers herself to him, right? And he turns her down. Is that story?
Yeah, he turns her down and says, oh yeah, even in death, it'll only be Lois. And I'm like, that's BS. And they are teasing SuperWonder because DC and Warner Bros. That's what I want to talk about here. So this is the second time in a row they have brought that into the continuity. Now, my question is, this would be interesting if they are starting to do a push towards SuperWonder being the thing now, because actually Mark Waid, literally before we went live, Mark Waid, when he's not hoping the comic book industry burns down, he said, so he did an interview and it's basically said, Waid admits the superhero comic market is soft right now. It doesn't know if it's in desperate trouble, but it's in some trouble. Obviously, he rejects the idea that wokeness is what's killing comics. Okay, debatable. But anyway, idea of the vivid civilian supporting cast is not as important as it used to be. So what that's interesting is like, so I'm like, so basically what that translates to is that people are not identifying with the civilian characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I could have told you that. First off, there's way too many. How many people are in the Superman and action books?
Yeah.
And again, I say this every time. Why does anyone try and commit crime in Central City or Metropolis when you have 5 gods hanging out in the city? Why does that ever happen? And then Tevia says, I am surprised they pulled the trigger. Well, here's the thing about that. It's an alternate Earth, as David said earlier. So it's not like it's going to interfere with the canon. I do find it's really interesting. My favorite tweet was someone saying, Superman and Wonder Woman kiss in the Tomorrowverse before Lois and Superman kiss. And I'm like, suck it. It gets worse. On DC's official social media, do you know what they did? They posted a picture of like cool scenes from cool multiversal scenes. So they had the one of Earth 2 Superman and the Prime Superman. Prime Superman is the one from Man of Tomorrow. They called the Prime Superman Superboy.
Oh.
So he's been downgraded to Superboy. Yeah. It's almost like they're saying you only become a Superman when you're with Wonder Woman. But
yes, sorry, Tevia, that's a fact.
If SuperWonder becomes the norm, does Batman get Lois Lane? No, Steve Trevor gets Lois Lane, and they can be together in their irrelevancy.
And then after Crisis happens, Tevia, I'm sorry to say, your Superman or Superboy is going to get erased.
But I don't think they're going to bring John Kent into the thing, because it looks like they're keeping it to like a multiverse that's in this like Tomorrowverse universe. So they probably won't be doing DCAU coming in here. So which is a missed opportunity.
No.
But still.
No. What I mean is the Man of Tomorrow's version of Superman will be erased.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So they're not going to do that. So.
Is the only like Crisis stuff that they're taking from the comics like the Anti-Monitor?
They haven't shown the Anti-Monitor yet. It's basically like
what?
the tower.
Oh, it's part 1.
It's part 1. It's like it's 3 parts. Britt says,
and what's up, Britt? 3 parts?
Yeah, and by the way, Britt, if you want to join us, I'll send you the link. JSA
Come.
laid the foundation for Clark and Diana. Lois and Clark weren't even romantically, involved at all within the Tomorrowverse. Yeah, because she was kind of abrasive to him in Man of Tomorrow because she's Lois Lane. But which is BS because in that movie they call him the Earth One Super. Yeah, I know, but for some reason I'm gonna pull it up. Because Britt sent me this, and it was like the most hilarious thing in the world. Actually, I sent it to Bob.
Guys, I think Tevia's having a meltdown.
Yeah, hang on. This was on the official DC account. Are you ready? This is the official DC account. I verified this last night. This is this picture.
Oh.
They call him Superboy.
That's messed up.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wait, what?
Even in the comics, they called them both Superman when they were both around each other.
Now the question is, if they call him Superboy, is that Superman going to become Superboy Prime? Are they gonna combine all, like Infinite? Crisis on Infinite, and then Infinite Crisis together into one story?
Yeah, I think so.
That would be interesting. And we see that's it would be worse if the Superman that's with Lois turns evil. That would be interesting. Civilian characters are more tolerable in smaller doses. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just DC tends to cram certain characters, Lois Lane, into everything. So it's like they turn her into Perry White in these comics, which I'm like, it's one thing if they make her the editor of the Daily Planet, but she screams at people like Perry White. So I'm like, then why not just bring in Perry White? Because the Superboy. Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that it could be they're going to combine both stories into one and just call it Crisis on Infinite Earths because that sells more than Infinite Crisis.
Yeah,
like they did in the DC AMU. They did put 2 books in one. Remember?
But so David, I want to get your perspective on this. What do you think that they actually pulled the trigger on Superman and Wonder Woman in the Tomorrowverse?
Why? I mean, I feel like it's the same kind of deal with like when whatchamacallit, Batgirl and Batman were together. Like they just
no. Do not compare it to Batman and Bat.
I feel like
Batgirl.
it's the same kind of vibe though, because like it kind of just came out of nowhere. Nobody was prepared for it. It just happened.
Except in this one, it's less heinous than Bruce Timm's fan fiction.
It is way less heinous, but I don't know. Maybe they knew that it was going to get a lot of people to react, because that's kind of like what a lot of companies do nowadays. Anyways, they just want to see like, well, can we make some part of our movie stand out like a lot and get a lot of people talking about it, and then more people will go watch it. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
That's what I think so too, because we noticed no one's really talks about these Tomorrowverse movies after they release. They just come out and everyone's like, okay, it's fine. This one, they're still talking about that 40 seconds. And the funny thing is that people are treating it like DC kicked a puppy. I'm like, what? Is people like, burn this universe, screw DC, someone should be fired for this? And I'm like, why?
Why? It's not even, I don't even think it's bad in any way. I actually think it's kind of cool that they're willing to try things in this like non-canon kind of like universe that's like not their main universe. Like, I don't get why people are getting so mad about it.
Britt also sent me these tweets. Someone said, imagine if Kingdom Come had come out today and some fans said it was bad because Superman and Wonder Woman kissed. Geez, you can't take any DC fans seriously. Well, the new ones at least.
Yeah, literally. Like, there's so many fans now where like, if their character doesn't act exactly the way that they think they act, they freak out.
Which that's the problem with that, because here's the thing about DC, and that's what I tell people. There is no definitive version of these characters. Because here's why. Every time a new writer gets on there, it's a reboot.
Yeah.
That's why here's the thing. Regardless of your opinion on like Zeb Wells on Spider-Man, Tom King on Batman, it's a valid as long as it has the official DC or Marvel logo on that corner and it's published by DC. I'm sorry, that is Batman. This is the same thing I said about the SnyderVerse. When people said that's not Superman, yeah, it is.
It's just not Superman to you or what you want Superman to be, and that's valid. Your opinion is real, but you can let other people enjoy these things.
Exactly. Britt says the producers wanted to do Kingdom Come, but this seems to be their way of sort of doing so as a small homage. What if they, because they
Yeah.
are doing a lot of Elseworlds like animated
Callbacks.
movies, animated movies because they're doing like Watchmen. What if they do Kingdom Come?
Mhm.
I could
That'd be cool.
conceivably see him doing this as like a long. I don't think Kingdom Come could fit in like 90 minutes. It would have to be like multiple parts, maybe 2 parts, kind of like that they did with Long Halloween. But wait, hang on. Granted, Green Lantern, Beware My Power with Hal Jordan was a bad idea. It wasn't a bad idea. It's just what they were doing. They were homaging a certain story, but they did it wrong. Because why do you kill Hal Jordan at the end of the movie when you could easily just redeem him?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And then James Gunn said no to Kingdom Come. Did he say no to Kingdom Come animated or live action, though? Because live action, that's understandable because he wants to do his own thing. But what if they just do it as an animated movie?
Man, they'd be greenlighting every animated movie. Like, there's so many that came out. Well, not like last year, but in the last couple of years, I feel like all kinds of random stories have been made.
Yeah, exactly. He said no to animated? Oh, wow. In that case, screw James Gunn, because I think that could work out really well. I don't think... See, I don't think he said no to anime. I know he said no to like live action, but I don't think he said animated. And Brittany, do me a favor, and if you can find like a source on that, go ahead and DM me. We're also getting a Watchmen animated movie, which, yeah, that's the weird one because we already have a live action movie that's superior. So why are we getting an animated Watchmen? Why?
Squids. Or that starfish thing at the end.
Well, yeah, thank you. I would rather have Kingdom Come animated. Yes, they could recreate Alex Ross's artwork because look at what they did with like Michael Turner in Apocalypse or Ed McGuinness in Public Enemies. They can recreate the art style pretty easily with that. What do you guys think?
I think that they should. I don't know why they don't take more of the classic stories. Like they're like, I mean, they did with Batman because they have like Year One, Long Halloween, Dark Knight Returns. I don't get why they're not doing that with all of their A-list characters, making their like biggest stories into animated movies. Because like you could do Superman for All Seasons, and it could be like that cool like watercolor kind of look. You could do I can't really think about Wonder Woman, one that really sticks out. Maybe the Azzarello run, like the first parts of it, because that artwork is really cool, even though it's like kind of simple.
And by the way, Britt, I saw the article. It's from a while ago, and it said like an animated Kingdom Come movie was discussed, but due to changing regimes, we couldn't go forward with anything like that. Yet, it doesn't say at all. It just says that due to the changing regimes, we couldn't figure it out. It doesn't mean they can't do it now, though. It would be hilarious if like all the animated movies like ignored Lois and just focused on Superman and Wonder Woman. Which, first off, when they did the DCAMU, because that's in the New 52, why didn't we get a Superman Wonder Woman movie?
I feel like they thought that just because they were in those movies, because they were in a couple movies together and they were like romantic and stuff. I think they thought that was enough.
The problem is that's the essential crux of the universe they're adapting, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of important. You can't ignore that. It's really, and heck, you could do Superman. No, we're not doing Superman Reborn. We're not doing. I get why he wants to do Superman Reborn because he wants a sequel to Super Sons, which was a fun movie in and of itself. Which was it was fun. It was okay though. I hate how
I like the animation style that it was.
It was pretty good.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Tucker wanted post-crisis status quo, which is kind of funny because and Tucker was the producer of the Tomorrowverse. Of the DCAMU, which is kind of funny that he wanted post-crisis because it was in a universe that was firmly New 52, which is why the later movies sucked. Randy says, I hate how entitled clothes fans behave. Not everybody likes Lois and Clark. They need to explore other options to keep these characters from getting stale. Thank you. And as a matter of fact, where is it? Here we go. There you go. There you go. That's my thing because, again, yes, was that the relationship for like so many years? Yeah, I can't deny that. But, Tavia, there's a reason why they didn't adapt the New 52 Teen Titans books. They sucked. But,
That's why they did the Judas contract.
Yeah, because that's like one of the most well-known Teen Titans books. But David, let me ask you this. So yeah, it's understandable that like Lois, we get the effect that Lois has on Superman and like her role in the mythology. Do you think that at this point the relationship is overdone?
I feel like really the only place that it really has left to go is like, because like I don't want them to have like an ending where they like divorce, because that would be terrible for a superhero. But I do get where you're coming from, that like we've seen them be married for like almost 100 years. Like that's like Superman's been around for so long. He's been with Lois that whole time. And I do get that you want to see like something new, but I feel like it's so hard for them to figure out how to get them to split, because either
reboot the continuity.
Yeah, that's really the only way they can do it, is that they never like work together to begin with. But
or they'll try to
endings.
find a way, because here's the funny part. Didio wanted to straight up kill off Lois in Infinite Crisis. Do that.
That's what I was gonna say, is like really the only like ending that can make a lot of sense and can be really heartfelt is if she passed away, which is sad, so sad. But that's like the only real way I could see it going forward. Mm-hmm. That could appease the people who really like her and him together.
Mm-hmm. And then they'll be
well,
like, why is he moving on with Wonder Woman? He's cheating on her. And I'm
yeah,
like,
exactly. That's how they'll see it. Like if she is existing in the universe that he is also existing in, people are going to question why they're not together.
No, I'm saying even if he kills her, because remember in Crisis, it's a Superman who was with Lois, but she died of old age, and they're still calling him an adulteress. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the funny part here, which we tried that before the New 52. Tavia, they did that because of ego, because when they did that with the New 52 and pretty much Superman and Wonder Woman, it sold like gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about it. And by the way, I want to bring up.
Do you want more proof?
My little item, graded and signed.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's graded and signed by Charles Sewell.
It's gonna cost him a lot of money when he sells it.
I'm not selling that. No, that is getting passed down generations to generations. But yeah, so that's what I'm. Atchison says, unpopular opinion: Lois is at her best when she is a light antagonist to Clark Superman rather than his. That's not an unpopular opinion here. But yeah, because my idea for Lois was pretty much if they wanted to reboot the continuity, have her be the one that's always trying to expose Superman's identity, not interested in him romantically, but she recognizes like the big story that will be if she exposes Superman. So Superman has to like save the world at the same time as someone on the home front just trying to expose his identity. Superman makes it do a Trigon to save Oh
my! Just man.
It's almost like it's one more day. Lois doesn't have to be to die, but alive if she isn't the love interest, she doesn't have a role. That's the problem with Lois, because here's the thing: there was that Greg Rucka book that I had a great moment. So that Greg Rucka Lois Lane book, I was in the bookstore. Teladia knows what I'm about to say, and the trade was there for the Lois Lane book he did. So I took a picture of it, giving it the finger, and put it in the Comics League group chat. And it was like, yeah, here's my opinion on it. But anyway, that book told me that Lois has no like selling proposition outside of being attached to Superman.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. No matter what you do with the character, she will always ultimately be Superman's wife or girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually her first series, Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. So there you go.
That's a joke of a name.
That is a joke of a name. Thank you. And Britt knows that. Yeah. I didn't really want that idea. Well, ultimately, Tavia, if we reran DC, she wouldn't be married to Superman anymore. Tavia.
She'd be married to
Tavia. Just because they did it before in the past does not mean it's going to work now, because we'll actually do it competently. # new direction. Just because DC tried it, because remember at that point, if I were in charge of it, I would actually respect continuity. Because remember, DCU was stories over continuity.
Yeah.
That made no sense because it's like Jim Gordon Batman was hanging out, but then Bruce Wayne was on the Justice League. Like, something doesn't line up here.
And you know what? In my new direction,
What?
I would pair Lois Lane with Lex Luthor.
No, just
Oh.
pair her with Steve Trevor so all the useless characters can be together. I had to. I had
No,
to.
but
I had to.
then she can get some brains.
By the way, He Who Must Not Be Named did mention the terrible idea with Lois Lane mentioning she wanted to expose Superman's identity with Show Me Man. No, I like that. That's a good idea. That's the one time he's had a good idea. It doesn't matter how long something's been in comics. If there's something that's hindering the franchise, I'm sorry, but it has to. Yes, exactly. And here's the thing. Because even I brought this up to my dad, and my dad's like, well, he's always been with Lois Lane. I said,
Yeah.
just because something has always existed in comics doesn't mean it's a good thing. That's the thing. It's because no one had the balls to take. Because here's the thing about the new 52, and here's why a lot of fans don't like it on Twitter. I say on Twitter. Because it showed that Superman doesn't need Lois Lane. In fact, he's more popular with Wonder Woman. So sales-wise. So that's why everyone's so scared of the new 52 coming back.
It was something new. That's the thing is
New
like
52.
I mean, look at this. Spider-Man just came out. This is what we've been wanting, and you ask for something and then finally get it. Good things happen for those companies.
Which it's interesting if they let's take this with the rumor that Scott Snyder is developing a DC's Ultimate Universe, which is a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
What if they decide, hey, it's the Ultimate Universe. Let's put Superman with Wonder Woman here instead with Lois Lane, because that way you could still have your Clovis books, but you could also have this. You could have the two great ships. And then Britt has said he hasn't always been with Lois. They didn't really become half Cell until the Bronze Age. Yeah, and it was kind of funny. And yes, thank you, Kate Hoare. Thank you, Kate Hoare. Thank you. That's correct. What's actually really funny is, did you guys know that back in like the 80s and like early 80s, you know how comics used to have those letters pages?
Yeah.
Well, as Britt and I brought up in our episode in the history, people were writing in even as far as the 80s saying put Superman with Wonder Woman and away from Lois Lane. By the way, Didio admitted that one of the purposes of the new 52 was to get rid of the marriage to Lois. And I'm like, more reason to love this. That's why I love the new 52, baby. But yeah, so the other thing is that they could just do Ultimate Universe with that. That way everyone gets what they want. You can just stay with your convoluted universe. I'll stay here, and we'll just hang out and do stuff. And in terms of, that's really where I think it's going. So Byrne wanted Superman with Wonder Woman. No, he didn't. Perez did. Because when it happened is, if you guys remember in the George Perez Wonder Woman run, they were setting up that Wonder Woman had a date with Superman in the Wonder Woman book. In the Superman book, they went on the date, and that's where in Byrne's run, he kisses Wonder Woman, and then they both decide, let's just go back to being friends. So it was a Perez thing, not a Byrne thing. If there's a DC Ultimate Universe, I hope Grant Morrison comes back to write a few times. Yeah, he could do it.
Sweet.
Because he did write I gotta say, he wrote a pretty kick-ass Wonder Woman in the Earth 1 books. That was actually really good.
And he did a very good job with Superman.
And
Just saying.
Yeah.
He's written all the characters well.
Hang on.
Or they, I guess I should say.
Yeah,
We got Jared on the run.
Christmas. I'm showing him my on the buy now. There you go. Really good. I like plowed through that in a day. But they could. Green Lantern was also a good one. I forgot that POV. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, yeah. Actually, let me ask you guys this: if DC does have an Ultimate Universe, what about Perez? Perez had the perfect setup for them too. Then DC chicken out. That's DC's whole existence. George Perez was awesome. Yeah, he was. If there's a DC Ultimate Universe, will they add the Earth 1 characters? Maybe. But let me ask you guys this real quick. So since we're on this topic, let's say there's a DC Ultimate Universe. What creatives do you want to come on to the Ultimate Universe?
I'll start first.
Yeah, go ahead.
The guy who did the Superman and Wonder Woman comic.
Charles Sewell. The only thing is that he's exclusive to Marvel right now. But if they could get him back, yes, that's one of my choices. They can't do any of the Ghost Machine guys, unfortunately, because
Scott
those would be
Snyder.
my choices. Scott Snyder, yeah. Ooh, Frank Miller.
Oh, dang.
He could write for that. And
Yeah.
rumor is he has another. Daniel says, I'm gonna say it. Upcoming Suicide Squad game for Rockstar looks terrible, disgraceful. It's not a disgrace. Peter J. Tomasi for me. No, he can't. He's exclusive to Ghost Machine. That's the thing. Tomasi can't come back. Chuck Dixon back on Batman.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yes.
I know
He
who I
managed to do that.
You know,
I know
if
who
they,
I want
they
for
got,
the
did they do
art.
that? Did they bring him back for Batman?
No. What he's saying, if they wanted, if they did an Ultimate Universe, Dan Jurgens, nope.
No.
I don't want the one-shot wonder. I call him that because, David, have you noticed that anytime Dan Jurgens wrote Superman, Doomsday or the death of Superman was brought up? It makes
Yep.
me act like he's a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
He can only write about that. And then Brett sums up perfectly because that's what really made John Byrne the writer. Not John Byrne, sorry. That's what really made Dan Jurgens the character he is. That's it. Chuck Dixon. Yes, I would love that. And so, Teladia, you know who Chuck is, right?
Yeah, I know who Chuck
Which
Dixon
first
is.
off, Nick and I
It's-
got to interview him.
Yeah,
that's
it's
sweet.
Nick's favorite thing.
Yeah,
Favorite.
he interviewed. He co-created Bane.
Yeah.
I hope this.
He wrote a lot of the Nightfall stuff.
Mhm.
I hope that's
Jeremy
not-
Adams. Jeremy
Ooh.
Adams. Yes.
Wait,
Yes,
wait,
I'm fine with
Bill
that.
Kennedy Johnson too.
Yes.
Just before we move on, I'm gonna reply to Daniel's comment real
Okay.
quick. Daniel, you're wrong because I played the alpha, and I've already given it. If you rewind the stream, you'll be able to hear my thoughts on it. So please go check it out and give the stream a
Atchison-
like.
Yeah, Atchison. Yes, definitely not extreme. Atchison says Brian Azzarello. Yes, bring him in. That would be dope because I liked his Wonder Woman run. Okay, I really enjoyed that. I have a couple of signed trades on that shelf, so I'm fine with that one. Grant Morrison, James Robinson, Matt Wagner, Warren Ellis.
Oh, man,
Those are
Wagner
good
was
choices.
Sweet.
That's a solid lineup. Jeez, but yes, Philip Kennedy Johnson has to be involved in some way. I'm totally fine with that.
I
Totally
want
fine.
Daniel Warren Johnson too, but I don't know what character to give him.
Suicide Squad.
Oh, that'd be sweet. And I know
I'm
who I
telling
want
you.
to draw all these books, but I can't think of what writer to put on them. Because I know I want Eric Dotterman on Wonder Woman,
Mhm.
and I want Dan Moore on Superman.
Yes.
Is Fabok still with DC?
He's
or is he-
exclusive. He's exclusive to
damn.
Ghost Machine. No, because I was at him on Batman, right?
Yeah.
The gameplay may be good, but the character design is awful. It's not awful for Wonder Woman. I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, Daniel. Matt Wagner would be dope. Yeah, that's true. PKJ would be good. Hey, what's up, Brown Destroyer? How you
Hey.
doing?
Brand
I would love Chuck, but DC can't afford him. Yeah, New 52 was the last time I actually liked the Wonder Woman comic. Yeah, Tom King's run is not for everyone.
She's had a lot of like bad luck with writers in the last like 8 years.
Because
in my
DC
opinion.
doesn't put good writers on Wonder Woman.
I don't get
which is
why though.
sad.
You have like arguably the most important female character ever,
Mhm.
and
Suck it,
they
Lois
don't
Lane.
care.
I mean, Gail Simone's run was actually pretty decent. I will
Yeah.
stand for that. You have the Perez run. You have the early
Azzarello was
Rocca.
okay.
Azzarello was great. Rocca, pre-Rebirth. I hated his Rebirth run. Tom King's run is so boring. It is a little boring. I gotta be honest with you. There's not a lot of action in that Wonder Woman book. Tom King is a hit and miss writer. Yeah, he is. Paul Dini, that would be great.
Oh, dude,
Yes!
he's great. He's who I want on
Yes!
Batman.
Yep, I'm fine with that. He's a cool dude. He makes all the good decisions in the DC AMU. Wonder Woman should have a secret identity. Otherwise, she's too out there. True. Perez run is peak. Yes, it is. It's so good. Like that was like one of the last times I could tell the writer actually liked the character. That's the other thing. And then Dan Abnett's Ultimate Green Lantern. Nope. Dan Abnett on Ultimate Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because have you read the Aquaman Rebirth books?
I haven't, but I've seen so many clips from him because one of my like favorite followers on Twitter, he's a huge Aquaman fan.
Dude, read those books. You will not be disappointed. Those are some of the best books coming out of DC Rebirth, to quote Rob, the comic explained. I also want Jorge Jimenez on his. Yeah, that'd be cool. I
that's
could
who
see him on
would be
Wonder
the
Woman.
Batman
Yeah,
artist.
that'd be fun. I could. He could also write it because I read his Paradise Lost, Paradise Found storyline for his Wonder Woman run, and it's actually pretty solid. I like that. He also kind of puts Superman and Wonder Woman together, so I'm like, he gets my bonus right there. Here's another artist I would put on like any book, David Finch.
Oh yeah.
Jorge Jimenez, Dan Mora, and the guy who draws the Green Lantern series.
Oh yeah. That look is pretty stunning.
Zeramancio is his name, I think. Hang on. I have a Green Lantern issue right here. It's Zermanico, I believe. If I'm mispronouncing your name, sorry about that. But who wrote the War World saga? That person should write Superman, Wonder Woman.
Philip Kennedy Johnson, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. I could see him. If he can't get Charles Sewell, maybe. And by the way, Britt, who would you want to write Superman, Wonder Woman if you're still on here? Heck, Tom Taylor in Ultimate DC, so he could go away from the main universe. Nope. Nope. I don't want him touching this. Ooh, Ed Benes.
Yeah.
Yes. We need these. I'm gonna say it. We need these characters to be drawn sexy again. Because, good Lord, I miss those days.
One thing I'll say about the new Spider-Man that came out yesterday is Mary Jane actually looks very pretty, and I was blown away by the curves they gave her. I was like, it's something I hadn't seen in a comic book in a while, or at least in a modern comic book.
Mm-hmm. Wow, and that is a surprise. That's why I think a lot of. That's why I say a lot of people can argue that comics were like woke in the past, but I think everything is starting to like self-correct right about now. Because if you notice, a lot of books started becoming less political. A lot of problem writers have been disappearing, like Mags Visaggio for the most part. And then you have like a lot of like art is starting to get a little more attractive. I mean, say what you want about Tom King's Wonder Woman run being boring. The art is fantastic.
That art is amazing.
He always has the best artist. Isn't that hilarious? So at least either way,
figured it out.
Even if the writing is crap, you're going to get a pretty good looking book.
Like Heroes in Crisis is one of the best looking books I've seen in a long time.
Writers say she is difficult to balance out the Warren ambassador. She's talking about Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's true. And Kador, to a degree, it still is, but I think it's starting to self-correct a little bit. Like a lot of these books are starting to get canceled, or they're being very short. They're short runs. So I don't know. We'll see. Randy says if DC is doing an Ultimate Universe, please keep the continuity clean. Yes, please.
Yeah,
that was and if we're doing a reboot, actually do a freaking reboot.
Yeah.
Don't do what you did with Green Lantern and Batman, because that just confuses everything.
See TJ's comment?
Earth 2 it's supposed to be Val Zod. This isn't that version of Earth 2. This is the more in the Crisis movie, it's the more classic version of Earth 2, where it was just golden age versions of these characters. Guillaume March are an Ultimate Catwoman, Batgirl, or Birds of Prey. I'm not that familiar with his arts, so let me look him up. Guillaume March. Oh, yes. Hang on. I'll share a screen real quick as soon as I have a good image. Hang on. Here we go. He did a little bit of Harley Quinn with that. Here you go.
Oh, I've seen this guy.
That looks pretty. I would be totally fine with that.
Oh, he did a Punchline. Or what's her name? The
Punchline
girl, right? Yeah.
I could see. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. That would work. If Earth 2 did it, DC did Ultimate, you given an ending. I hate this never-ending crap. What you could do with the Ultimate Universe is say like every 2 or 3 years, reboot everything to square one and then start over. Like keep rebooting the universe, so that way you can just keep having fresh stories. Because yeah, I agree with Atchison to a certain degree. Yeah, the shared universe and the big long story is cool, but it just gets convoluted after a while.
Yeah.
That's why I think DC is overdue for a Flashpoint style reboot.
I mean, that's why we have 10 Robins. I don't even understand why that's necessary.
Speaking of Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 movie, animation still sucks. I'll give you that. The animation style is a little iffy on the Tomorrowverse. I'll give you that.
But SuperWonder is still canon.
But Super
It
Wonder
just-
is still canon, so I'll take that. Let's face it, no one cares about Val Zod, sadly. Kind of, yeah. That's why there wasn't like a lot of like push for a Val Zod movie. So there you go. If you are doing it, reboot and then have a clear storyline until you reboot again after 5 or 10 years. Always gets yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Reboot,
exactly.
have a plan. Say okay, so in this iteration, this is the epic story you want to tell.
Yeah.
Then when you get to the end of that, reboot and have a new story. Like you could do evil versions of these characters. Like how about a universe where Batman is evil? Or like he snaps, he turns evil, and then it's the Justice League versus Batman, and he becomes he becomes basically the Joker / Dark Side of that universe.
That'd be sick. And then
There
he
you
can
go.
and then it can end and then he can go to something new.
Yeah, exactly.
Last year I read the Power Rangers year 1, 2, and then their event. And reading that made me realize how well thought out their reboot was. Because it ends at a point where everything gets rebooted. Like the ending is like they like go into the past basically and fix everything that was wrong in their universe. But it has all these generations of Rangers in it. And I thought it was the most perfect event I've ever read from any comic book company. And I think that they took exactly what you just said. They're like, we're going to start here and we want to end here. And all of our writers are all on the same page. And that's what the end game is that everything is going to get reset on this issue and then new stories will be made.
Exactly. The Emancipator says if that's the case, then they don't care about these characters. Like, what's the point of creating them? Are you meaning in terms of like perpetual reboots? Because here's the thing: you could do good reboots repeatedly. Because here's the thing: it sounds good on paper, but you need reboots regularly. Britt says Stephanie Phillips wrote a pretty good Diana and Wonder Woman Evolution. She's also a fan of the New 52. Philip K. Johnson. Yeah, if I had to pick a writer for Ultimate Superman, just put PKJ on there. Just 100% put PKJ in there. I'd be totally fine with that. When you have a clear-cut plan and telling a story, only when a writer can do its best, John, and story comes out awesome. That's what's missing from DC. Yeah, the problem is also you had a bunch of writers in the New 52 that didn't want to write the New 52 continuity, like Dan Jurgens. He didn't want to draw the armor, and I'm like, then don't write for DC because this is the way the universe looks right now. It's selling, it's popular, so shoo. But again, that's the other thing, clear-cut plan, because as much as I love the New 52, that was my era, to a degree, that's why I say it's not a perfect era, because there wasn't a lot of planning for that. It was just reboot. Okay, so what are we doing now? You have to have a plan before you reboot.
Yeah.
Earth 1 here's the problem with Earth 1 being called the Ultimate Universe. There's no evidence that it was a universe.
That they even lived in the same worlds.
Exactly. Because the Wonder Woman book can't take place in the other books because women take over the world. And Green Lantern can't take place because no one talks about like Green Lanterns or like or like Ferris being a space company. Superman and Batman are the only ones where they could have crossed over. Michael Conrad can write good Superman, Wonder Woman. He wrote that Superman, that Wonder Woman 800 issue where they were hanging out. That was fun. Shame Earth 1 Teen Titans was a train wreck.
Yeah,
that's true. PKJ Action Comics and Joshua Williams Superman runs it. Yeah, it is. I gotta say that's been like this. My favorite books of Dawn of DC is that that and Green Lantern have been amazing.
Wait.
What?
You liking PKJ Action Comics? Excuse me? I thought you don't like the dude.
No. That's Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
PKJ is the one that did Warworld Saga, Teladia.
Okay, I get confused.
It's okay. It's all good. There's a lot of names, but PKJ is kick ass. Like I just reviewed this issue where they gave Superman new armor. Because Superman is now in control of LexCorp, so they took a Lex Luthor suit and Superman like rebranded it because he has to fight someone but not get exposed to kryptonite. So I'm like, oh, that's it. The art is good, the story is awesome, and by the way, yes, my January picks members video will be going out hopefully tomorrow. Indeed,
Okay.
Jeremy Adams Green Lantern runs. The thing about the Jeremy Adams Green Lantern run, I'm going to leave this up. It feels like a continuation of the Jeff Johns run. And that's why it's so good. It's not like Jeff Johns to Grant Morrison, where Grant Morrison ignored everything. That's why I didn't read that book. Let me see. Dave says Earth 1 was all separate continuities, just like All-Star Superman, All-Star Batman. Yeah, that's the thing about it. It wasn't a universe. It was still good though, but it was like not a universe. I think Earth 1, Superman, Batman had two contradictory things, so it can't be the same universe. It's clearly just a trick to sell title. Even if you read like Multiversity and they have like the multiverse guidebook and they show like Earth 1, it's not a universe. Brown, do you think the American Alien could be the ultimate? I mean, Superman American Alien? That could be a good origin for Superman. That's a good one. I love that storyline, by the way. And I think that could be a good foundation for Superman. What I think they should do is whenever they reboot the universe and in our Ultimate Universe, they have to have one character who is the through line of the universe for that iteration. It can be Batman, it can be Superman, it can even be Flash. But one character who's kind of the through line, the main character, if you will.
Yeah.
So
that
way again.
Sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Way better than Grant Morrison, which made no sense. It was a mess. Yeah. Isn't Grant Morrison the run where Green Lantern fought God?
I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah.
The only Grant Morrison stuff I read is his Batman run and his Superman run. Those are the only two things I've read by him.
Pretty good stuff. So there you go. That Batman run is peak Batman right there. I love it. I say they do Wally West. Yeah. Another thing, you could do that. You could have like instead of Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner is the Green Lantern, and Wally West is the the Flash. I almost said Green Lantern. That would be kind of weird. So, but you could do that instead for one iteration. Have like all the '90s characters be the superheroes. You can have Electric Blue be Superman. No, don't do that. They'll actually go with that. Grant Morrison's Green Lantern is great, but it's more so. Yeah, exactly. Brown Destroyer asks, guys, who are your favorite DC character writers in Justice League? You mean who is your favorite DC characters in the Justice League? Well, Superman, obviously.
Superman,
Batman, and Wonder Woman for me.
Yeah, with me, it's the Trinity. If we're talking about what our favorite writers for Justice League are, I always go to Grant Morrison and Jeff Johns.
Charles Soule. I'll never let that go.
He never wrote Justice League, though, Teladia.
I mean, for Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly. Grant Morrison's JLA was what was convoluted? Yes, it was. Scott Snyder. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I have the whole run right there.
Plus, the good thing about that one, literally, the run was the team was the animated cartoon lineup. So that was dope. Hawkman and Green. Well, I figured Hawkman. I'm pretty sure Hawkman would be your favorite character. And Green Lantern. Well, good choice, Kadar. Good choice. So for our final topic of the evening, let's talk about some Ultimate Spider-Man some more.
Oh.
So, Hawkman and Wonder Woman are my favorite jail members. Nice. No, I'm asking about writers of individual characters. Oh, you mean favorite writers of like individual characters? Okay, I see what you're saying. For Superman. If you're talking about modern writers, it's Feld Kennedy Johnson, obviously. If we're talking for Wonder Woman, not that much.
I think Gail Simone for me for Wonder Woman.
By the way, I have that on me.
Oh, yo.
I just got it. It's really good. Yeah, Gail Simone is like the most recent run that I enjoy, but honestly, it's gotta be George Perez. With Grant Morrison, I mean, with Grant Morrison run with Batman, it's probably either Grant Morrison or Scott Snyder. One of those two. I really can't pick. In terms of Justice League runs in general, Jeff Johns. In terms of Superman and Wonder Woman, Charles Soule, not Peter J. Tomasi. In terms of Green Lantern, Jeff Johns. You automatically have to say Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
And in terms of Flash, it's a tie between Jeremy Adams and Francis Manapul.
I was going to say Mark Waid for Flash.
That too. That's a valid one. Have you the new 52 Flash books though?
No. I've read
because Manapul writes and draws them.
Yeah, I've seen them.
So good. So good. How about you, Teladia? I know Superman and Wonder Woman. Your favorite writer for that one is. I know that.
Yeah, Superman, Scott Snyder. Justice League,
Not
obviously
bad.
Jeff John.
hmm
Batman, Scott Snyder, of course. Um, and that's pretty much it.
Who wrote the Flash after Joshua Williamson? I think Jeremy
Jeremy
Adams, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
Jeremy
sure.
yeah.
Adams.
He was like, he's not the most recent writer, but he was the one right before him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the most recent writer was Cy Spurrier, and I've heard that run is not that good.
Huh.
I read the first issue; it's weird. And David, how about you?
For Batman, I'm like really torn between Peter J. Tomasi and Scott Snyder.
All right, there you go.
On any given day, I could go with either of them. For Superman, I've loved everything Grant Morrison has done with that character, but I've also liked a lot of the
comics, baby.
Yeah, but I've also liked a lot of the older runs, like the Jeff Loeb. He did Superman for All Seasons. That's way up there on my favorite books for that
Superman,
character.
Batman counts too.
Yeah. For for Aquaman.
Kador, no one likes Brian Michael Bendis. Well, he didn't write anything good for DC.
Yeah, because I will say that Brian Michael Bendis is my favorite Spider-Man writer.
Yeah, that Marvel, he has more good books for his name. DC,
yeah.
I can't believe you did that.
I have to, because it's true. Tevye can tell me that. So go on, David.
And then for Aquaman, it's definitely Jeff Johns.
Yes. That's a run we have to cover, Teladia.
That run is great.
What
and
run?
you'll like
Jeff Johns
run
Aquaman.
through it so fast because it's like
Yeah.
so action-packed. The art is amazing. The
Ivan
storylines,
Reyes on art, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
like everything in the trench looks amazing. It's so crazy.
And if you want to see basically the story beats from both Aquaman movies, it's that run.
That's that whole run.
Is that I've loved Ultimate Spider-Man? Okay, so and Cy Spurrier is an awful writer. Yeah, I've heard it's not really good. Also, the best part, no Paul. That's the best part of Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, so let's talk about that. So I haven't read the issue, but I don't care about spoilers. So just if you guys want to do spoilers, let loose. But so I saw something. So Uncle Ben's not dead in this universe.
Uncle Ben is alive, and whatchamacallit, what's his name? The Bugle guy. Oh,
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson.
You didn't know his name?
I forget a lot of characters' names all the time, but I know what they look like, and I know what their voice sounds like in my head. But anyways, he's also alive, and he's really good friends with Peter. It's really interesting to see Peter walk into the Bugle and be like very confident, and everybody like likes him a lot, and nobody like calls him any names, because I'm used to all the runs where like he's way younger than everybody for one. But him being like he's like my age, because they say he's like 30. I'm pretty sure they say his actual age. And he talks to J. Jonah Jameson. He talks to Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben is the boss. He's like the editor in chief or something like that. Says it on his door. And the Kingpin doesn't like there's like a terrorist attack, and I guess it like killed a bunch of the population, and Aunt May is one of them, and they're all like
Aunt May dies in this this universe. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and Peter has a hard time approaching Uncle Ben about it, and he's like, and he talks to J. Jonah Jameson, and he's like, I want to like talk to him, and he's like, don't be scared, just go ask him how he feels. And then they go to because there's like a eulogy for it, and that's where Matt Murdock is. He's the priest that's giving the eulogy.
That is cool.
It's so cool. I think everything that they're setting up here is so good. And I get where people are saying like, oh, this comic's boring. It's because it's like 20 pages of just like of dialogue boxes, and there's really nothing happens. You only see Spider-Man in one frame, kind of, and it's more of an homage to like the Batman animated series, because he's all in like you can't see him, you can just see his eyes.
Okay.
and whatchamacallit, Iron Man is how he gets his powers, which is definitely
Oh,
going to make.
Iron Man is the one who's responsible. Oh boy.
Yeah, but Iron Man's his same age. It looks like it doesn't look like he's like like an MCU ripoff. Like he's just like he's an older version. Like he's like his dad or whatever. And he's coming from the future, and he's telling Peter, he's like, "Hey, you're supposed to be Spider-Man." Well, he doesn't tell him he's supposed to be Spider-Man. He just tells him you're supposed to be a superhero. But something happened 20 years ago that prevented this from happening. Which I guess the big bad is Reed Richards, but it's like an evil version.
Oh, the Maker.
Yeah, that guy. That's the big bad of the run, and that's established on the very first page because there's a little dialogue box and it says 20 years ago Spider-Man was supposed to be created, but it didn't because the Maker stopped it and stopped a bunch of superheroes from being created, and then the comic starts.
And by the way, Brown asked if I want to read the whole Ultimate Universe, which book should I go for? You think Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yeah, just Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't actually think you have to read any of the other books because a lot of them I've heard are really bad. I've heard that Ultimate X-Men's like the worst one. I think
X-Men is not exactly batting is batting 300 on this one.
Yeah, I would say Ultimate Spider-Man and then the Ultimates, which is the Avengers. But that's the name of them, is the Ultimates.
I'll go with that. That's cool. So how much of like the when I asked this, how much of the Ultimate Universe like concepts and stuff is like carried over? Do you know? Does like Iron Man have like a brain tumor or something like that?
No, he seems like he's perfectly healthy. They're the same age, which in the old Ultimate Spider-Man, Iron Man was way older than Peter because Peter was like 14 or 15.
Oh, so they're both like around.
They're both the same age. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And he gives him this orb and he says, you're supposed to be a superhero. And if everything goes according to my plan, I'm going to walk back into a world where you guys are all there. And they blamed the terrorist attack on Tony Stark. And that's what Kingpin was upset about. The Kingpin said that he didn't like the way the Bugle was accusing Tony Stark for being involved at all, I guess. They're not really clear on it. It's very vague. And Uncle Ben walks out. He's like, I quit. And then J. Jonah Jameson says, I quit. And they both leave the Bugle. And they're going to start their own company or their own news company. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Tevia says Iron Man is framed by the Maker and turns into Kang.
Maybe.
Oh no. Well, that's going to age poorly with Kang.
Oh, and there's another part where Peter and Mary Jane are talking, and Peter's telling her, I don't feel, because he says he has these feelings that like something is wrong in his life, but he can't figure out what. And then Tony appears and tells him that he's supposed to be Spider-Man, and he gives him the orb. And then he talks to Mary Jane about it, and he's like, and it's implied that they know what they're talking about to each other, but the reader doesn't really know. And he's like, and she's like, as long as we're going to be okay, I don't care what you do. And he was like, okay. And then he walks out onto the roof and he opens the orb and he breaks it and the spider is in there and he uncorks it and the spider's on his hand and it bites him.
Oh, that's how he gets his. That's actually kind of cool. It's a new way of doing it. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
And then the very last page is him standing there with just the eyes and then black around him.
Mm-hmm. Brown says Ultimate Spider-Man was good art, and he said Marvel tends to have bad art, so Ultimate Spider-Man was fresh in that sense. Yeah, the art looks pretty solid. And then Tavia, we know you're very happy that Mary Jane, which to be clear, celebrate all you want, my friend. Oh, geez, that looks. Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. That is, that is Batman the Animated Series. That is totally Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
That's great. So I can't wait to pick up that issue. And at least Marvel is giving us a universe where things look good. And also, here's the thing. Here's how you know it's well written. It's Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It's I'm like he would be my pick for a Justice League writer, but either Justice League or some people have said Legion, but I'm like, I want Justice League.
Yeah.
Well, Tiger, at least you never made a deal with evil Professor Myers. That's gonna be crazy, right? And then Mary Jane goes, right. And then it says, I have a theory that Ultimate Green Goblin is Ultimate Harry Osborn or maybe Ultimate Uncle Ben. If it's Ultimate Uncle Ben, that would be dope.
That would be crazy.
That would be really going balls to the walls.
I'll show because he's only in one panel.
Yeah,
Green Goblin.
go ahead. Actually, you know what? I'll full screen you so you can show that. That's cool. That's like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah. And that's the only page he's in.
That's
and you
cool.
don't get anything else for like what happened or like there's an explosion on one page, him on the next page. And that's it. That's all he's is for the whole book.
That's cool. I like that. I like how they're doing this because the old Ultimate Spider-Man was like in the previous Ultimate Spider-Man, in other words, in the previous Ultimate Universe, I think Norman becomes Green Goblin at the same time as Peter, but it sounds like in this the Green Goblin's already an established thing.
Mm-hmm. It also sounds like there's no good guys like at all. It seems like there's just in a world with bad guys right now, and Spider-Man might be the first good guy.
Mm-hmm. Brown Destroyer says, Jared, so many people on Twitter want live action version of Justice League Unlimited animated series based on Batman animated series and Superman animated series. So why did not WBD go with that with the DCEU? Because Gunn. That's why. I don't know why. Because they put Gunn in charge. If they put Paul Dini and Bruce Timm in charge, it would be those versions of the characters, which then we would get a Wonder Bat movie, and no one wants that. But we are getting more Ultimate Green Goblin issue 2. Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait for that. So I think that's a good place to leave this. We talked about a lot of great stuff. Let us know below if you agree with what we said or if you disagree. And if you have any more questions for Teladia, you can drop them in the comments of the stream, and I'll relay them to him at some point. So Teladia, where can Gunn. He did do that. Oh, Batcest movie. Oh no!
Don't give him ideas.
Yeah. So Teladia, where can one find you? What have you got coming out on your channel?
So you guys can follow me on X at Teladia Plays _ and on YouTube at Teladia Plays. I will be doing my Suicide Squad Killer Justice League impressions video. That will be going out tomorrow. As you guys heard, I did talk about it. I want to discuss it with the boys, but I'll be talking about it properly, with Jared and them not being there. So at least then you can hear my thoughts, and I'll be extensively talking about what else, what am I looking forward to, what am I impressed, what am I not impressed about. So all of that stuff. And also, I will be doing this Justice League run for Justice League issue 6 with Jared on Wednesday. So Jared, make sure you get those. Remember what I told you yesterday to get those sorted. So we're going to be talking about issue 6, and we'll be doing a ranking of the first volume of which each issue, which one we thought was high to lowest. So that's what we'll be doing on Wednesday.
Sweet.
Next week.
David, where can one find you?
You can follow me at junk_surfer at Twitter. Eventually, I'm gonna make a Pokemon channel. Eventually.
You gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be the very best that no one ever was?
I feel like I'm pretty good at the card game. Like I win a lot here in our locals.
All right, there you go. And if I can be of any help, just let me know. So in terms of Comics League, for the members, I will be releasing my January picks of like the books I picked up for January. So that's going to happen. Under Two Capes, Teladia and Nick and I had a great discussion about why superhero games of late have been struggling.
Yeah.
Movie night, we're talking about Matt Reeves' The Batman. Yeah. And this week for SuperWonder Legacy, Britt and I are talking about the problem with Injustice. I'm going to tear that story apart.
But before we end, I just want to also mention to your chat right now is that I'm going to be doing a members only panel like this on my channel, where you guys that are members of my channel will be able to hop on and we talk about anything and everything, really.
Mm-hmm. Dave says I'm getting back into collecting the card game, Crown Zenith, and
Oh, hey!
150 are like great pulls.
151 it is a really good set.
Mhm.
It's
So
just the
Mhm.
of the first generation.
Pokemon game, Pokemon card.
Okay, cool. So on that note, everyone, stay heroic and remember the
SuperWonder is life.
well, yes, and also that Lois Lane is Lois
Lois
Lane.
Lane.
See you later.